Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. My name is Don K. Preston, and I am the president of Preterist Research Institute of Ardmore, Oklahoma. This is what I call my morning musing, sharing a good cup of coffee with you, sharing some thoughts from the Word of God. We're currently involved in a study of the book of Zechariah. Oh, by the way, thanks for all of the private messages of appreciation about that series. I just have to take a break here to make a few comments about John Hagee and his claims about the 4 blood moons. What in the world are 4 blood moons? Well, it is a somewhat rare but not unknown astronomical phenomenon having to do with both solar and lunar eclipses. John Hagee points back in history and shows where on 4 different occasions of the occurrence of what he calls the 4 blood moons. The proper astronomical term, by the way, is tetrad. But he points back to these 4 instances and he says, look at what major event happened concerning the Jews at that point of time. And he claims that beginning April the 15th, 2014, which was yesterday, and September of 2015, something big is going to happen, unquote. Look, folks, John Hagee has made many false predictions of the coming of the Lord, the end of the age, the rapture, Armageddon, etc. Now, John Hagee has locked himself into what we can call a verifiable time frame. What has he predicted? John Hagee says that within this next 15-month period, I think it's about 15 months, we are going to witness the battle of Gog and Magog, foretold in Ezekiel 38 and following. Well, folks, I'm sorry. John Hagee is completely false. Now, I want you to follow with me about the dispensational timeline of prophecy, and then we'll compare it with what John Hagee is saying. The dispensational timeline of prophecy says we will have the rapture of the church. The man of sin will sign a peace treaty with Israel, allowing Israel to rebuild the temple, which of course necessitates the removal of the Dome of the Rock from Jerusalem. The Jews will rebuild that temple, but 3.5 years after the peace treaty is signed, the man of sin sets up the abomination of desolation in the temple, breaks the peace treaty, and begins persecuting the Jews. After 3.5 years of persecution, the Jews cry out to Yahweh. Jesus comes the second time, destroys the man of sin, and establishes his 1,000-year reign in Jerusalem. The 1,000-year reign transpires, and at nearly the end, pay very close attention here, at nearly the end of the 1,000-year reign, a rebellion takes place, and you have what? The battle of Gog and Magog. Do you catch the power of that? The battle of Gog and Magog comes at the end of the 1,000-year millennial reign of Christ. John Hagee says that within the next 15 months, we're going to see the battle of Gog and Magog. He says within the next 15 months, we will see the total annihilation, catch that, the total annihilation of Russia, Syria, Iran, and Iraq, and the other Arab nations that oppose Israel. But wait a minute. If the battle of Gog and Magog is only 15 months away, of absolute logical necessity, it means the rapture took place 1,007 years ago. It means that the man of sin signed a peace treaty with Israel 1,007 years ago. It means that the Jews rebuilt what is known as the tribulation period, a temple 1,007 years ago. It means the Great Tribulation took place 1,003 years ago. It means that the second coming of Christ took place 1,000 years ago. It means we are at the end of the millennium. It means that 900 and whatever. Do you get the point? We've only got 15 months left of the millennium. According to John Hagee's 4 blood moon prophecy that says within the next 15 months we will see the battle of Gog and Magog. Look, folks, the first blood moon was supposed to be, and was, astronomically, not theologically, but astronomically, the first of the blood moons was yesterday. Nothing happened theologically. And that's because John Hagee has completely perverted and distorted the scriptures of Joel, Acts 2, Matthew 24, and Revelation chapter 6. During the next 15 months, we are going to see the absolute proof positive falsification of John Hagee as a Bible teacher. Will he be held accountable for it? Look, if you want the truth about Armageddon, if you want the truth about the rapture, get my book on the rapture. Get my book on Armageddon, Blasts from the Past, the truth about Armageddon. Go to my websites, www.eschatology.org, BibleProphecy.com. Order those books. Say that you saw the offer on YouTube or Facebook, and I'll not charge you shipping. Folks, you just got to see. It's time we held these false prophets like John Hagee accountable. His own prophecy will be proven false between April 15th, 2014, September of 2015. Oh, by the way, let me remind you that a guy named JKLY on YouTube called me a false teacher heretic doomed to hell because I deny this kind of teaching. And he said by the end of June 2014, the man of sin will sign a peace treaty with Israel, allowing them to rebuild the temple, removing the Dome of the Rock. I challenged him with the following. I said, if that takes place, I will send him $1,000. If it doesn't take place, he has to send me $1,000. Well, he immediately responded and said, well, let's lower it to $100. Here's the point. The man of sin will not sign a peace treaty with Israel by June the 21st. The man who calls himself JKLY on YouTube will owe me $100. It's going to be fascinating, isn't it, to see if he lives up to his pledge and his promise. Because, folks, it's not going to happen. Okay. You know, we got a lot more on all this. We'll get back to Zechariah. Thanks for joining me. Don't forget, get the books. Go to my websites. Check it out. We'll see you on the flip side.